Hey everyone, welcome back to our new video. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the calendars, some advanced bit where we are going to use these calendars on a dynamically basis. In the previous video, I talked about these calendars where I'm going to create on the fixed dates today or these days. Then I mentioned that I'm going to talk about the variable stuff in the next video. So here we are. So why variable? So there are two things that goes into the variables. One is sometimes at the backend side in the script. For example, we have those dates for data where the dates are from the old data. Like you might have the data till 30th of May. So this today function won't work. This all these function year to date, day number of the year is not going to work for that. So then basically we need to work on bit more of these things. The second part that I'm going to talk about is essentially on the front end side, there at times the customer wants or the end user wants that the flexibility to change the point of reference dynamically. For example, today we are at 20th of August and he comes and he says that, okay, my data is completed till the 10th of August. So I want year to date, month to date reference till 10th of August. And that is not, anytime like it's going to always be 10th. Sometimes he's going to use 5 days before data is complete, 2 days data is complete, whatever. So we want to give him this flexibility, and he also want to go into the history. We want to see the historical analysis, historical observe what was last year this date or something like that. So we want to give him the flexibility. So how we can do that? So we're going to talk about these two things in this video. So let's just come to the dynamic date part in here. So I have this training data. I have loaded that in my previous videos. If you still need that, just ping me a message. I will try to share that with you again. Okay, so here we are. Here we have this one. So I'm going to click on exit script. Let's load it data. Here we are 20,000 records, and I'm going to add orders date in here. Here we go. Okay, so see, we have this dates. Okay, that is very simple. Now it starts from 2018th, 1st of 18th, and then it goes till 21st of January, December 30th of December 2021. But if you see in our calendar, we have it today, and it goes from November 2019 to this one. So, and we are writing this 1000 dynamically. So what if we want it to be done automatically by the script, that if there is a future date or past date, whatever, it should be done automatically based on the transactional table. So let's just do that. So I have the script already actually prepared. So I'm just going to use that one. So I'm just going to remove this script in here. Okay, so this particular data, what it is exactly doing is that it is essentially from this transactional table, this date, it is creating the min and max dates. It's picking the min and max date, and then on the base of that, we are using this function to do the further part. And let's just do one more thing in here. So, and also where today, wherever today, we're going to use this where these variables to replace today, so that we don't have any issue. And I hope so it's gonna work now. Okay, let's just keep it. We're going to handle that on the front end side, so let's just keep it for now. And yeah, here we go. Okay. Okay, let's just load it. You see, and by the way, I have created this temp one order date so that it links with this table. And now we have date starting from 20, ending at 21st, and starting from 2018. So we have this calendar done automatically. And if I go just in here, sorry, in here in calendar, you see the number of rows are different, and it is starting from, rather than 1000, it's doing calculating that particular stuff automatically. Okay, so that is about dynamically using the script to create for the dynamic calendar. So the next part we're going to talk about is dynamic dates, dynamic YTD, MTD flags based on the user selection. So let's just do one thing in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a table in here again, and I'm going to add order date, and I'm going to create YTD flag, and I'm also going to create MTD flags. Okay, so you see this is YTD, but at this point it's not MTD because it's 20th of August, and I cannot change it. No matter what I select, I cannot change it. If it is, it is, it is not. But what I'm interested in, that I just select this, for example, I just 15th this one, so this become my date of reference. So if the data is, let's say, rather than doing this, let's just say that I want to select 28th of one. So I want that if I select this, every day 28th of every month come in my MTD, and YTD should be till January, but if the date is after January, it should not be counted as YTD. So I want to just change my point of reference. I cannot do that automatically. So I have to use certain variables to do that. I have just created some variables in here. I'm going to delete them first, which are not, which I'm going to create them again. Okay. Okay. So the first variable we're going to create is v max date, or we have already created that, so we are going to call it vdate rather than vmax date, because that is going to be a point of reference. So vmax, let's call it order date. Yeah, here we go, and we're going to create it as equal to as set let variable. Okay, so we have this date in here, the max date, because I have selected it. So you see, it's going to do that automatically. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create another variable which is going to be called the current month. This doesn't mean that it's current month, so this essentially means that it's the latest month. So, and by the way, there is and these are going to be used in set analysis then. So the best practice is to use the month name rather than the month. The reason is that it will work perfectly if I am in, um, mm, I'm going to create the last month data. So so let's just see. I think this is going to be interesting one. That let's just show that rather than doing that. So month name. So here we have, and we see that it's interesting one, December 1999. And the reason is that the order date is not dual. Okay, you see, it's basically evaluating it and then giving us the result. And let's just put the dual function. You remember in the last we were talking about dual function, that it's do text as well as the numeric function as well. So let's just hope that it solves our problem. I hope so. And let me just put it numeric to make sure it's numeric. And I hope so this is going to solve our problem. Let's see if it works. No, it doesn't. So if what if we just note this dollar sign expansion. So let's see if it works. Oh, yes, it works. That is good. Okay. So the next thing is we're going to create V year or V current year better. And let's just again we're going to use V date and year around it. And I'm going to use equal sign. So these are six basically variables that I'm going to create. These are must to have variables in order to have those set analysis and everything. Okay, so the next thing is I'm going to create we last year. Let's create last year first. And the last year is simpler one in most of the cases because it's simple counting. So if we have we current year and we just subtract one, should be fine. So we have this one. But things get interesting, and that's why I was talking about we current month, we last month. And let's say if we simply just see we current month minus one, let's see what happens. Oops, we have to put it equal to. Let's just put equal to. Oh, you see, it just it converted to a number, and this is going to be. This is not actually the month, actually. So this is a date now. Okay, so how to come with around with that? And that then there is another problem. So if we just use rather than just month name, if we just do month, let's see what it shows us. It shows Jan, and now if we just subtract one, it just need to be refreshed. So let's see what happens. Okay, let's just reopen it. Delete it, and let's just recreate we current we last month. And in the definition, I'm going to see write the current month minus one. You see, it's showing 0 rather than 12 of the last year. And then it's another that would be another problem. So if we are comparing current month versus last month, this is not going to be very easy. So it is better to use the month name, and when we have to do this analysis where we have to compare last month with the current month, then this is the best practice. If you're talking about normally we hardly talk about current month versus this last month of the previous year or something like that. We normally hardly talk about that. So in the most of the cases we are if you are want to say that okay we want to compare August of the last year's August, then you can have v month or some other variable. So I'm going to use create that as well. Okay, so now rather than using this one, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an add month function and then vdate, and then I'm going to create month name, and in add month I'm going to add minus one so that it's previous month. Here we go. So if you see now we have December 2017, so this is what we wanted actually. And if you have to make these kind of variables where you have to compare last month with August of 2018 with the August of 2017. So I suggest you create v month variable where you have month, not name, just month of v date, and you can use that in conjunction with the current year and the last year. Okay. So, and these you see one, two, three, four, five, six functions, and there are two more as well. These are actually interesting one. So I'm calling it VYTD. So you remember I created YTD flag at the backend, but here I'm creating it here. So I'm going to call it V day number of the year as, and then I'm going to call it V date, sorry. Yep. And just so this is just going to return us the year, the date of day of the year. So what I'm going to use it, I'm going to create. So this becomes, we can just write that if then else statement. So rather than doing that in here before I'm just going to create in here a flag post in here. So I'm going to coming back to script, and rather than having this, I'm just going to create a simple field, two fields that is going to help us and speed up the process on the front end. I'm going to call it day number of the year, and let's just use template as day number. Let's call it day of year, and then simple day template as day of month. Okay, and let's see how it's, so basically this I am adding just to speed up the process on the front end side, and making our this YTD analytics simpler. So I'm just going to go in here again, YTD. Okay, so I'm going to say that if day number of year, okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm doing here is, rather than creating YTD actually flag 01, so I'm cleaning YTD. So it's day of the year, and we MTD, month, date of the month. So let's call it uh, simply day and V date. Okay, so in this case they are same, and then we're going to use them in set analysis. Like we have created the day number of the year in the our script. So I'm going to compare this. If this is less than this, then we are going to say that it's year to date. Otherwise, it's not year to date. So let's just, yeah, we have in here, it got automatically in here. So now we were just that we were creating. So let's just create a year, and sum of quantity, and this is what I was saying. The day, number of year is, sorry, day of the year, sorry, that was the failed, day day of the year, we are going to use double quotes, and I'm just going to call it YTD, double quote. And the reason I have double quotes is because I'm going to write is less than or equal to, and here we go. So I'm just going to put in here. So here we are. Just need to see that if I have equal to, yeah, that is good. Okay, so now if I think this is best going to work in, if I have this thing, I'm just copying this expression in a KPI chart. This is going to show best in here. Yeah, this table is not actually meant for that. Okay, so here we have total sales for the year to date, and I'm going to add another way thing in here, which is going to be year is equal to, let's just call it um, the current year. Okay, so yeah, so we have this till this particular date. So our YTD. Okay, so now look at in here. As soon as it changes the date, this changes automatically. If I changes the date, it changes. Let's just go for a higher date. So here we are. It's basically calculating the max date automatically, and it's just getting us the day of the year is less than YTD. Yeah. So in this case, it's getting that automatically. Okay. Oh yeah. So we also have, in this case, it's just using that particular date. So let's just ignore the date as well. So let's just ignore the date. So here we go. Yeah. Now it's working on the date. It's ignoring the order date. Okay, so that's it for today's video. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. I will be available. And if you have any queries or concerns, or you want any topic to be used, topic to be reviewed, please do share your comments in here. Thank you.